Hello everyone, how's it going? I am Louis, the Average Guy 1983. Thank you so much for joining me on this video today. In today's video, I'm going to be able to talk to you guys about the new Emove Cruiser V2 all-wheel drive. This is a 60 volt, 30 amp hour battery model with dual 1000 watt motors and a top speed of 44 miles per hour. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it and give you guys a closer look as well as going over the P settings. So with that said, let's go ahead and roll the intro so we can get started. Alrighty, my friends, so before we get started, I do want to give a special thank you to all of these individuals right here, because if it wasn't for these people here supporting the channel, there's no way that I would be having this Cruiser V2 right now in front of me to be able to review and talk to you guys about it. So thank you very much for all of these guys that are here that have been supporting the channel using my discount codes for the RS. If you by any chance have purchased the Cruiser, the Roadrunner V2, the Roadrunner V3, the Roadrunner Pro, etc., and your name is not on this list, please make sure to reach out to me at theaverageguy1983v3@gmail.com. Let me have your first name and last name and your order number, and I'll be able to confirm that you have placed an order using my discount code, and I will give you a shout out in the next video. With that said, let's go ahead and get started with this. Alrighty, my friends, so starting out with the measurements of the scooter. The scooter is 52 inches long from the front wheel all the way to the rear wheel, and that includes the fender. The height of the scooter at the lowest setting here on the stem is actually 46 inches tall, and that's because of the edge of the display. However, once you lift it all the way up, it's actually 59 inches tall from the ground all the way up. Now, from the deck height here up to the edge of the handlebar, it's 49 inches tall. And for our much shorter riders, 36 inches at the lowest setting, from the deck to the edge of the handlebar. When it comes to the battery performance, this is a 60 volt, 30 amp hour battery. So it does technically have, in watt hours, is 1800 watt hours. On the single motor version of this exact scooter, it's 52 volts, 30 amp hours, which is 1560 watt hours when it comes to the battery. So that's a difference of 240 watt hours in total between the two models. With that said, on this one, you're getting dual 1000 watt motors instead of one 1000 watt motor, and instead of cable brakes, you're getting dual piston hydraulic brakes by Zoom with a 140 millimeter brake disc. Alrighty, my friends, so if we take a closer look here at the back wheel, you can see that we have a 140 millimeter brake disc, which is identical to the one on the single motor version. However, you can see the difference on the caliper. The caliper is a dual piston zoom brake. This is hydraulic, so it is different than to the cable type that you get on the Cruiser V2 52 volt motor. Obviously, it's because of the difference in speed. The other one, I believe, tops out at 32 miles an hour, and this one here tops out at 44. So we'll be able to test that later on, going through some of the videos forward. But for right now, that is the specs of the scooter. And obviously, you still have the same exact motor cable design for removing the motor in case it's needed. The same split rim design, as well as the shocks. And pretty much everything else is identical up in the front. Alrighty, my friends, so this right here is the two piston zoom hydraulic brake caliper. This right here is a 140 millimeter rotor. And then right here, you can see the line for the motor cable. Alrighty, my friends, so talking about the charging port, this is really important and something that I have to bring up that I also brought up to Melvin's attention when I officially unboxed this exact scooter at Voromotors. This one has a GX12-3 adapter plug, and it's the same exact plug that's on the 52 volt Cruiser V2. Now, the reason why there's concerns for that is because there are two different chargers. This one right here uses a 67.2 volt at 2 amp hour charger with the same exact plug design. Meanwhile, the 52 volt uses a 58.8 volt 2 amp charger. So keep that in mind when you decide to buy a fast charger. There are two separate fast chargers, one for the 52 volt system and one for the 60 volt system. Now, Voromotors does have a fast charger that will work with the Cruiser V2 60 volt model, which is the same charger that's used for the Roadrunner Pro. It's the one that I'm going to show you guys on the screen right now. It's for 120 bucks, and you can charge at up to 10 amps, which means that instead of waiting to charge between 9 to 15 hours, depending on how low you take your battery state with the stock charger, you can charge at 3 hours or less, depending your battery state, with the 10 amp fast charger. And this is, again, at 67.2 volts. So that's just something to take into account in case you want to get something like that. Just remember though, that that charger does not support 220 or 240 volts input. It only supports the standard 120 volts that you get in your household. If you need a fast charger for group rides, I would suggest that you go with Pidzoom and grab a charger from there. I will go ahead and put a link in the description for you guys for that one as well. I'm planning on picking it up because it's much cheaper than the charger that I bought from Roger EUC. So I might actually go ahead and pick it up. Alrighty, my friends, so talking about the display right here, we have it at 100% battery. Right now we have it in gear 1. If you use the plus button, you can change it to gear 2. Push it again, it changes to gear 3. And then push the minus button to go right back down to gear 1. When it comes to changing to your front and rear motor, you press and hold the plus button for a couple seconds, and you can get it to go to rear motor. Press and hold the plus button again, and you can change it back to dual motors. Unfortunately, there is no option to change it from the rear motor to just the front motor in case something goes wrong with the rear motor, so just keep that in mind. Talking about the lower gauge information right here, you push the power button just one time to switch between trip information to odometer reading. Push it again, it will lead you to your rear power in watts. Push it again, it'll lead you to your time that your scooter's been on for. Push it again, it'll lead you to your front motor power, and then push it again, and it goes right back to trip information. To get into the P settings, all you have to do is double click the M button, and it'll take you to P1. P1 is for the LCD brightness, P2 is for the auto shutoff timer, P3 is to change from kilometers to miles per hour, and P4 is your gear settings, which is set to 3. Now, if you press and hold the plus and minus button at the same time for a couple seconds, it'll take you to the E settings. On the E settings, you're able to adjust your rear motor acceleration power from 1 to 5. Currently, gear 1 is set to 2, gear 2 is set to 3, gear 3 is set to 5, and the front motor will be E2. On E3, you have your electronic ABS power. E4 is your rear motor amp 1 through 25, where you can set it at for yourself. E5 is your front motor amp setting, and then E6 is the gear speed limit. So this is for anybody that wants to change their speed limit. You don't want to go 40 on gear 3, you want to stick to like 30. You can actually adjust this, but keep in mind that you see how it says on number 1 there? That is basically the settings for gear 1. So if you want to switch it to like gear 2 or gear 3 to change those settings, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to exit out, change it to gear 2, and then double push the M button, go all the way to P4, press and hold the plus and minus button, and then you can go ahead and go to this last setting over here and change your speed. See how now it says 65%? Now you can change it. So that's just how this works, just so you guys can get an idea. That's pretty much the settings you need to change. You don't really need to change anything else on this thing. However, just keep in mind that this scooter here did come at 52 volts when it should have been 60. So to change that, just push the P settings, go all the way to the A settings right here. You're gonna have to use the code 6969 to get access to this and push M. And then you can now enter the A settings here and be able to change the voltage. So the A1 setting needs to be changed from the 52 where it was at down to 60. Now it goes up to 72 volts in case you ever want to upgrade something like this. It's just a display setting, but just leave it at 60, push M so it saves the setting, it stops flashing, and then double click M to exit out. And that's pretty much it. Pretty easy to use this setup here. And again, remember, if you're trying to change the speed, acceleration, or settings under gear 2, you are going to have to manually change this up. Basically, by changing it to either gear 2 or gear 3, and then go into your P settings to be able to change that to your desired speed limit. Alrighty, my friends, so going over the things that you get inside of the box after you remove the scooter. This is actually underneath the scooter, just so you guys know. You're going to get a bag, and you're going to get a brown box that has the charger inside. Inside of the bag, you actually get this Emove Cruiser V2 all-wheel drive handbook that shows you everything from the P settings I just literally showed you guys right now. You get a Voromotors card that gives you some kind of reminder. You get this Voromotors hex key set that you can kind of see right here. This isn't a really good quality, so I recommend you guys do not use this and use your own higher quality hex keys to not strip your screw heads. You also get your wire for your charger. You get a 67.2 volt 2 amp hour battery charger, which unfortunately it can take between 9 to 15 hours for you to charge the scooter, depending literally how like gravely low you took your battery down to. So again, the fast charger is available for it, so I will definitely put a link in the description if you want to pick one up from Voromotors at $120. It's a really good value, especially if you're not into going to group rides and charging at EV stations up to 220 or 240 volts, something like the 67.2 volt 10 amp fast charger will be the better option versus something like this. Two other things you get is this scooter QC sheet chart that apparently clears everything on the scooter when it comes to its specs to make sure everything is working in proper order. And the last thing you get is the certificate of origin of vehicle, which gives you the specs to the scooter. Some of this information though is a little bit confusing because it's not on par to what you actually get from the scooter itself. So keep that in mind. A good example here is the fact that they're declaring that this scooter weighs 79.37 pounds, but under Voromotors, it supposedly weighs about 75. And when I weighed it on my scale, it said it was 92 pounds. So I'm not sure which one is accurate, but this is what you get. So just keep that in mind that it may actually be between 80 to like 92 pounds when it comes to the scooter. All right, well, talking about the handlebar area here real quick, you get your larger size handlebar in general. It's a lot more wider than before. You get your palm support grip. You get your standard little button layout, which I like this, but I don't like it at the same time because it does wear out these little button logos. I guess it doesn't matter at the end because you know what is what, but it does suck that this is going to wear out over time, just like it did on my Roadrunner Pro. It'd be nice to get better buttons in this, but it's cool for what it is, you know. You do get the same buttons as the Roadrunner V3 as well as the other Cruiser and even the Roadrunner Pro. You have your display info there, and then towards the end, right over here on this side, you can see the thumb throttle as well as the other grip. And right over here, what my finger is pointing at is your headlight. And right here, you can see the grill for the horn. So when you push the horn button, it sounds like this. So you can see it is quite loud, especially in the area where it's at. Alrighty, my friends, so let's go ahead and do a speed test off-load and see how it does in gear 1 with dual motors on. Alright, seems to top off at 19 miles an hour. Gear 2, top speed, dual motors with no load. Tops off at 31. Now let's do gear 3, top speed, without any load, and see how it does. Oh, that took a little jerky move there. I'm glad I held it down. So 51 miles per hour is what it can do off-load. So we're going to see how it does with me on it. Again, I'm 292 pounds, so just keep that in mind. And that's with gear on. So the speed may vary for you depending on your weight size as well as acceleration. So let's go ahead and take it out for a spin. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are with the Emove Cruiser V2 all-wheel drive. This is a 60 volt 30 amp hour battery model with dual 1000 watt motors, hydraulic dual piston brakes from Zoom, and yeah, let's go ahead and take off. We are at 100% battery, so let's go ahead and go in gear 1 and see what we get speed-wise, and then we'll do a retest again in gear 2 and another test in gear 3 and give you guys my overall first impressions. Let's do this. Alright, acceleration is really good. That's surprising, even in gear 1. So let's see where it tops off at. I do have safety gear on. Okay, I see that it's like topping off at 17 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and switch it to gear 2. Gear 2 says 28 so far on the display. Not bad. So it looks like 28 miles based on the display information. Alrighty, so I pull over here to the side so we can set this thing in gear 3. So we're having it in gear 3 now. We're going to be taking off. Just want to make sure that there's no cars passing by, because that's kind of dangerous. And here we go. Oh shit. That was some peel out right there. No freaking way. Are you serious? This thing has that much power? Oh shit. Yeah, it really does. It's getting a little jerky here. Whoa. No freaking way. Oh my god. You're kidding me. I'm gonna have to get away from this Audi here because they are driving the speed limit right now, but the acceleration in gear 3 is freaking insane. I know that it's set to 5. It might have to be dialed down to like maybe 4, but that is some really aggressive acceleration. This thing just beat the crap out of my Segway GT1 that when I first got it was priced higher than the Cruiser V2, man. That is insane. Well, we're gonna see right now just how much it tops off at, because it says 44, and right now we've seen that we topped out at 28 in gear 2. So let's take a look at this and see how it goes. 30 so far. 34 and no speed wobble. 37. 39. Okay, seems like it tops off at 39. Not bad out of the 40. And the acceleration is freaking ridiculous. Oh my god. No freaking way. Such an aggressive acceleration. Holy shit balls. Oh my god, I like this. I like this. If something like this at $2,000 can pull somebody as big as me this quickly at 292 pounds, that is freaking insane, man. Freaking wow, no way. Now I do hear some little clicky sounds coming out of the rotor, so that means that the brake pads are going to be adjusted. Freaking well, I can't believe I was able to get that kind of acceleration out of a Emove Cruiser V2. Now, I do have the brake smelling a little bit, and that's probably because this is my first time riding it, so I'm wearing the brake pads in. I did hear some little scrapey sound towards the backside, so I'm most likely going to have to realign the caliper just to make sure that the little mechanism that holds the brake pad in place is not rubbing against the rotor. But holy crap, dude, I can't believe that this thing was so fast in acceleration. I might even have to drop it down to like acceleration number 4 out of 5 to make sure that it's not too aggressive. But wow, man, I am so surprised, man. Dudes, let me go ahead and bring you guys out to the backyard again, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Dudes, what amazing performance out of this scooter as a first impressions. Just literally having it out of the box without changing anything. The freaking aggressive acceleration in gear 3 is amazing. I'm gonna probably have to seriously dial that down, but it beat the crap out of my Segway GT1 that I paid a whole lot more for when I first got it. And not only that, but the only thing that this kind of comes in comparison to price-wise is literally the GoTrax GX3, which I really liked because of the same, you know, quad suspension thing that it has, just like this one does. But at the same time, that one is a 52 volt, 25 amp hour battery system that tops off at 37 or 38 miles per hour. This one tops up at 44. If you're a much slimmer rider, you guys got to see that under the display, I got like 39 miles. Still, even if it's at the same 38 or 39 miles, it's still pretty good for someone my size. So that's impressive, including the acceleration. And again, both of them have dual 1000 watt motors, but the difference is that this one is 60 volts at 30 amp hours. Meanwhile, the GoTrax GX3 is 52 volts at 25 amp hours. So you're going to get more range with dual motors on this one here for the same exact price. On top of that, it's also adjustable from the handlebar height. So this is amazing. I am really freaking impressed. Voromotors and Emove, good job, man. Seriously, that deserves a round of applause. I'm not even joking. This is amazing. I am really surprised as somebody my size at 292 pounds with the gear on that you see me on wearing right now, I was able to get that kind of aggressive spinning out of control acceleration. That was really thrilling and really cool. It left me really excited and I giggled like a little baby. Oh man, dudes. Well, with that said, guys, if you guys are interested in purchasing the Emove Cruiser V2 all-wheel drive, please use my discount code TAG1983, 50 off to get $50 off your Emove product. And again, if by any chance your information doesn't pop out in the database for giving you credit, please let me know. Send me an email to theaverageguy1983v3@gmail.com with your first and last name and your order number. And I'll give you guys a shout out as well in the video once I confirm that you placed an order using my discount code to show the love and support that you guys are giving back to me. So with that said, guys, look forward to the range test videos that I'm going to be doing in each gear. I got to make sure that I have some good time. It's supposed to rain the next couple of days, so once everything clears up, I'll be sure to post up some videos on this, but super exciting. And again, thank you guys all for watching. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask. But I did forget to tell you guys that it does use 60 volt, 25 amp dual sine wave controllers for the front and rear motors. So you get some really good power. And man, those 25 amps do not disappoint, man. It is incredible. I would honestly go for this over a Segway GT1 or the new GT3, and the same thing for a GoTrax GX3. This is the better choice. All right, guys, up until next time, see you guys on the next video. Have a good one. Peace.